What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Socially Awkward Podcast. My name's Adam. I'm back with Ryan. How you doing, sir? I can't hear you, Ryan. I think you're muted.
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, you're having some issues today.
Man, technical issues. Motherfucker was muted. That's right. I actually mute myself because when the intro happens, you still can hear some feedback. But so yeah, I'm doing pretty well though. I'm all right.
Good. Let me get some slight little background music going. What happens when you die, Ryan? What happens? No one knows, but for some reason
you go to a gulag.
You look like a guy with answers.
Shit, I don't have answers. One will wish, from what we're taught as little kids who are religious, that if you're good and you accept Jesus Christ into your life as your Lord and Savior, you go to heaven. But
hey, don't get too cocky. That might be true.
That might be true. That might be. Hey, it might be true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. And as I get older and thought about, even younger, I thought about things around that, about death, because death scares the shit out of me. And I don't think death scares me. It's the fact that I want to live more just because I have more shit to do. I'm not complete with what I want to do. So, or accomplish. So,
you're still young. You're still young though.
Yeah. I know. It just scares the shit out of me though, because especially recently, like just I hear about a lot of people dying young in like their 40s and shit like that, and people I know stuff like heart attacks and everything. Like, holy fuck! Like, god damn it.
Are heart attacks more prevalent in the Black community?
Heart disease is, and it's from our diets. Unfortunately, it's just how we our diets.
Is that getting better? Is that changing?
It is. A lot more people are waking up saying, we gotta do shit better. Learning more about just nutrition.
All the Southern cooking is killing y'all,
bro. That shit, it clogs our arteries bad. I mean, everyone. I won't say everyone. Everyone doesn't love fried chicken, but I like fried chicken. Home cooked fried chicken. Oh my god, so good. But it's not always good for you the way you do it. So people are getting woke to, but are just basically really getting more health.
Just trying to be more. Yeah, as a country, as a world, you hope like as we just progress a little bit, people just start they start realizing that look, nobody's fucking Superman.
Right.
You got to eat a few more vegetables and a little less fucking sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny.
It's tough, man, because that's just delicious.
It's so fucking good. So good. It's funny you say nobody's Superman. We thought we were Superman. And when I hit 30, that's like, ooh, those pains start kicking in. Like, what the? Why is my back hurting? Why is my knees popping? But
when me and Katrina first got together, up until I was like in my early 20s, dude, I had a rock hard 6-pack, and now it's very deep.
Bro, like if I show some before and afters.
I didn't start putting on like actual weight until I was same height I am now. When we got married, I was 155, 160 pounds, like fucking bean pole. And then we got married. I started putting on weight.
I said 160 pounds.
I was 6'5", 160 pounds.
Yeah, you was a fucking bean pole for real.
Very athletic. But but I mean, I was. If you looked at me, I was shredded, but it wasn't even very attractive. I was I was skinny. You know what I mean? Just tall and skinny as fuck. And obviously now I look like the Grinch. So skinny arms, skinny legs, and big old pot belly. But Lyndon just texted me and said, "Okay, give me a second." I'm like, "All right."
Hurry the fuck up,
I'm not starting over. He's just got to come in.
Nope.
So, man, I think about that all the time. I'm like, whenever, like, what the fuck is on the other side? Something is. Oh, look, this fucking guy. Oh, right. Look who decides to join the party. We're 5 minutes in. You finally woke your ass up. You don't even have the camera on your face. He probably can't even hear me.
Probably dude, not.
Hey, you
is he doing laundry?
You could have got dressed before you turned the camera on, dude. All right, but Dude, you said that death scares you. Death scares me too, man. The thought of dying, I can stomach dying late. Like I say all the time, if I can make it to like 85 or 90, I'll feel like I will
Yeah.
have. But I mean, it's actually not that common to get that old. And right now, I'll be 40 years old tomorrow, and
Oh
I
shit!
I
Happy early
feel
birthday. The
oh
21st, right? Tomorrow is 21st.
yep. And actually, I feel pretty good, man. Like obviously, I don't feel like I did when I was 20. But the thought of dying early and leaving my kids behind, leaving my daughters without a father, and not seeing like my grandkids, and just not, I guess I didn't have to add him just in.
No, that's cool.
That's my fault. Just the thought of dying early scares the shit out of me. And things like cancer, things that you can't really control, because cancer doesn't give a fuck. My
Right.
wife's brother, a stepbrother, not like half brother, died. He ran marathons, uh just an athletic guy, died in his early 40s. He got this weird kind of cancer, and it was getting better, and they said, okay, well, we have this experimental drug that it's got a 97% success rate, 97%, but the 3% of people that took the drug, and Katrina could probably give it more details, and it should probably articulate it a little bit better, but there was 3% chance that it would rapidly uh, excel, or what's the word? Yeah, excel
Yeah.
the cancer. He was at 3%. Took him out in like a month or two.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was. It's brutal, man.
Cancer's horrible. I mean that C word. And my wife, she had cancer, intestinal cancers in her intestine. They had to take some. Well, she was 26.
Wow.
They had to go in and take a portion of her intestines out because it was like you can't save that, so just remove the cancer. So it hasn't came back. Yeah, it worked. Nice. I mean, she's 56 now, so I mean, I didn't know her back then, but yeah. So yeah, it's cancer's no joke. I mean, I've seen cancer people die of cancer. It's the most scariest. It's oh my god, like, it eats you from inside and it's horrible.
Cancer doesn't give a fuck, dude. What's up, Lyndon?
What's going on, boss man? But yeah, the cancer. I mean, so yeah, it's just death, and I would not want to die like that. I mean, I know that was scared of shit when I was younger too. But I was told that, oh, we all have cancer cells. It just not activated. I'm like, motherfucker, what?
Is that true?
Yeah. We all have cancer.
Yeah, we all have cancer cells in our body. Some people's are active, some are dormant. As you can tell this year, of course, with wife being diagnosed with cancer, it was.
Oh yeah, you learned way too much about cancer this year, didn't you,
bruh?
That's right. I forgot that. About
that. It's like when you have to go through it, or you see your loved one going through it. Like, I don't think you understand the magnitude of how much cancer sucks and really changes your life.
Well, because you got to be. I mean, my daughter didn't have cancer, but she's had a lot of other issues. So whenever so I'm not trying to take away from your wife's cancer, but you have, when you're at the mercy of someone's body turning on itself, and it's brutal, man. And there's like you got to sit back and just hope the medicine, doctors, a miracle. Like you just gotta there's so many things that gotta like fall into place to not lose somebody you love, and it's fucking scary.
Because I mean, like, the way it happened too, like, it really came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
because and it ended up being, stage 4 cancer, which is like it was stage 4 tongue cancer, but they called it mouth cancer. So what happened was, this was like back in probably like late April, early May. And the only thing that happened was we were eating and something, and I think we were eating KFC. She had like Nashville hot chicken or whatever. and when she ate it, like it affected, like her tongue just started like hurting and all this stuff. So we went. So the following week, like we just went to doctor and stuff, and they kind of looked at it and was like, okay, we're gonna send you to like an oral doctor and whatnot to kind of do a biopsy. So they did that. So they, and you know, all her life she's just thought it's been like a bacteria spot or whatever,
some little annoying thing that maybe some
And they told her to just brush her teeth constantly and tongue and all that. Did the biopsy, and those doctors I think called like Friday. Wasn't it? They called someday, but we missed the call. They called again Friday, and they kind of, and I kind of had a gut feeling or something like that, that something's up. And so I think we went back that following week to get the news. And she went in, and then she told, and then like at some point she texted me saying to come in, and I'm like,
oh no,
oh, this ain't good.
Right.
And then basically, you know, told us that she has cancer, but at that point we didn't know what stage it was in because it was just like the early beginnings of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until she went to work, and I think with her job, it was like there was stress and everything that made it just kind of grow, because it wasn't even like big at the certain point, but it ended up they got up to 5 centimeters for the tumor in her tongue.
What a weird place to get cancer.
Exactly right. And this is a woman that hasn't smoked, drank, none of that.
I think cancer, and I could be wrong. Maybe you guys know a little bit more about than I do. I watched a documentary once called, I think, Blackfish. And the documentary was about people who, in this little island, were getting cancer. And the way this wasn't the whole documentary, it was just a part of it. And they were literally curing cancer themselves by restricting themselves to a fish and vegetable diet. They said that cancer grows by inflaming, and when you eat sugars and things that cause your body to get inflammation, you're literally feeding the cancer and helping it grow. According to this documentary, you can literally starve cancer out if you go on a 0 sugar diet, 0 carb diet, and you go like basically like fish or just like in chicken cooked the right way, fish and chicken and just vegetables without no bullshit on it, no processed food. You can literally starve cancer out. But but they don't tell anybody that.
They don't.
The
pharmacies, they won't do that.
Pharmaceutical companies, that's why they won't.
They'll lose so much fucking money.
Say anything.
I got a friend who actually she both of them are my friends, they're husband and wife now, but start off as business partners, and but now we hang out and shit like that. I talk to them all the time, and they are vegetarian, and only meat they eat is fish, seafood. Now,
but before is that pescatarian?
I think so.
It's
yeah,
pescatarian. Yeah.
So now, yes, there you go. Yeah, pescatarian. So now, they won't eat like any like turkey, meat, chicken like that, and they used to before. They used to eat pork, all that stuff, and everything. And once she got cancer, they went on. That's became pescatarian and started researching stuff. Took out all that shit, unnecessary sugar stuff. If it wasn't like natural sugar, they didn't eat it. Like in fruits and stuff like that, of course. They juiced all that stuff, and sure enough, it reversed the cancer. The cancer died out, basically. Yeah.
So the documentary, there's some. Okay, we're talking about some.
We're not doctors. We're not doctors.
Yeah, go see a doctor to get cancer.
The disclaimer: we are not physicians. Go talk to your physician.
Matter of fact, we're the opposite of that. We're all idiots.
I don't want no one saying, "Oh, and us getting a strike because YouTube." Oh, you're fucking making claims. I'm not making claims. I'm talking about nothing that has happened personally to me.
Fuck it, I'll say
what I've seen.
Stop eating sugar cures cancer.
It actually, I've been taught that you're it's actually it's documented too. Your immune system, 80% 80 to 85% of your immune system resides in your gut, your stomach.
Yeah.
So what you eat, when you say you are what you eat, yeah, you eat pizza and carbs, you get inflammation, you get bloated. That's your stomach and bloated, inflaming. And yes, absolutely, you will have that issues that. Okay, great. I mean, I take supplements to try to offset that, but honestly, I do need to eat better, and I know that. So yeah.
And to go back to the diet just for a second, I know this is we'll get back to the death thing here in a second. You are what you eat. Your body, you don't like when you eat a lot of like sugar and stuff, you don't add fat. Your body already has the fat cells, they just get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So
It stores it.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with like we're talking about, and I'm above my pay grade with the cancer, obviously, but when you eat sugars and all the and carbs and all this bread and pizza and burgers, it's inflaming everything, and that includes, I'm assuming it's that you start inflaming cancer cells, and they start doing their thing, and they're alive. You're feeding them, you know what I mean? Instead of you can starve them out by getting rid of all that shit. I told Katrina, if I ever get cancer, I'm just gonna start eating like a fucking rabbit. I'm eating vegetables now.
Like, for real. If you ever want me to, I have a naturalist. She's a nutrition naturalist, and she's actually been studying for 40 years. Like all this, so she has degrees and everything like that. I can get her on. I talk to her and have her do an interview with her if I want to. But no, yeah, I mean, I talked to her and helped with some of my health issues that I was diagnosed with.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking shit, you not the shit worked. I'm like, what?
Yeah, even losing weight itself, they say it's like 80%, 85% diet. I mean, you can exercise all day long, but if you keep eating the same things, it may make a little difference, but you're not. It'll make like 15% difference. Like it's not gonna. It's amazing. Our bodies are like, eat right, motherfucker, or nothing's getting better.
Your body goes in like almost a fight or flight mode. It's like, okay, well, hey, and like if you eat bad, it's gonna store that shit because and then all the sugars and everything like that. It's insulin levels and everything that it's amazing how your body works. So, and when you eat bad, it builds up and shit just like festers. Like red meat is not good for you. We all know that. It's dead flesh. It's gonna sit in your belly. It tastes delicious. I'm not gonna lie, but I know it's not good for me. It's gonna just it's sitting. I'm putting dead flesh in my body. It's cooked and letting
what's the difference
rot.
between white meat's dead flesh too? No.
It's dead flesh, but it's not. It's the cells, like the type of it. So red meat, it's all the blood cells that you're doing it. White meat doesn't have those blood cells like that. So if you kill a fish, it bleeds a little bit, and then it's gone. It's not like just oozing out blood and all those muscles and everything that you have in there. So with the whole like beef and pork and all stuff like that, constantly just bleeding. Like,
so you're saying Indians are onto something?
Yeah. yeah, but yeah, seriously, it's just crazy how the body works. But
all right, so
it causes death.
So we're not nutritionists. Let's move on.
Correct. But it kind of ties into what happens when you die.
No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just
but to answer the question, what happens when we die? I know, Lyndon, you hopping on this one too.
Yep.
I'll tell you my.
What's your best guess
of what happens when we die?
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I was asking Ryan. I'm sorry because
no, you're cool.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just was gonna.
It's all good. I mean, because I really don't know. I mean, my best guess.
Obviously, you don't know, motherfucker. What's your best guess?
I'm trying to think of how to answer this because I don't want to go into biblical terms of what happens when we die.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to keep it like more of like human without Bible in it. So I'm trying to figure out a good answer for that.
I think you should answer however you feel.
I think so. My thing is because and this is just, I guess from where I've grown up and gone to church and you read the Bible and you've been taught all these lessons of what happened when you die, and that how basically it's basically like we just have a soul living inside of us. And this body is just, something for our soul to live in, but it's not actually like, us and stuff like that. It's a lot. But I for me, I've always, and it's quite funny because I've thought about like death a lot and what will happen afterwards. And you kind of don't think of the death itself. You think about like after you're gone, like not so much of when the death happens, because you're like, oh, so what's going to happen to this and that, or how is everything going to be when I'm not in the picture, is what you think about. Versus, oh, I'm dead, so I don't really care. Because one thing I think I've learned is material things is something you can't take with you when you die. That's why sometimes when people say, "Oh, get all this expensive stuff," I'm like, okay, you can. So when you did, that ain't going with you. You know that, right?
Right.
But I think it's just for me. I just feel like it's a peaceful transition, leaving this earth, and resting, eternally until the world starts again. And that's like the biblical standpoint of it.
What do you mean till the world starts again? That sounds pretty deep.
Oh no, it basically, when with that, it's like basically this earth that we're living on is gonna one day perish for, and that just gives and then at that point is when God's just gonna kind of restart the earth and life will live again and stuff like that. It's a lot. And
Sounds like a bunch of horse shit. I'm just kidding, man. I don't know.
I mean, it does, but I mean, that's what I've just like grown up on and know, and so it's like, yeah, I mean, because I'm not, some of us, it's like some people have a fear of dying because they don't want to leave this earth because they feel like they're not done with a whole bunch of stuff in their life and they feel like they have more to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like trying to realize like you have to at some point come to peace with knowing that one day you're not going to be here anymore, right? And so now is the time to live your life to the fullest and not waste a second and cherish everything.
Yeah, but I don't think people really do that. I think people say they want to do that, but everyone gets so caught up in about every little thing with the bills, and they get mad. And I'm guilty of this myself. Obviously, you get mad at your wife, like all the shit that, like, legitimately in the big scheme of things does not matter. It's unless you're the perfect human being, no one's not doing that every day. Like I think right. I think everyone would like to believe that they are, and I'm sure there's some people that are just living life. They're doing everything they want to do. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have shitload of money, and I know it doesn't always take money to do these things, but sometimes, if you have a lot of things you want to do, it costs fucking money to go places and do things. For me, you know what? I used to be okay when I was younger. I was consider myself not religious. I wasn't a religious person, but my mom, we had to go to church every Wednesday, every Sunday. It was kind of her way to get all 6 of her kids out of the house. And well, we went to church, and I believed in God. I mean, I was raised in the Midwest. You just believe in God. And I don't not believe in God. I'm agnostic. As I've gotten older, and I'm not so cocky. Like there's nothing cockier than an atheist. Okay. It takes a special kind of cocky to say there's no God and you're an idiot for thinking there's a God. It's like, how do you know, motherfucker? Like, just as much about what happens after I die as everybody else, which is nothing. Okay. So for me personally, I haven't got to the point where I'm living my life for God and I'm like preaching the word of God and I'm for sure Jesus is the way to God and all that stuff. But I'm also not going the other way and going, none of it's true. I'm leaving it all on the table. That's why I have a big soft spot for religion. I have a big spot for Christianity, a soft spot in my heart. When people go after Christianity, they make fun of them. They think they're dopes. And like, I was like, okay, calm down, fuckface. You don't know either. Okay. That's my stance on it. Now, after you die, my person, like if you put a gun to my head and said you have one choice, if you get it wrong, I'm gonna blow your brains out. So you better put some real thought into this. What happens? I would say my best guess is that when the lights go out, they just go out.
It's just like darkness. That's it.
It's like I feel like our brains are high-powered computers that they're symbiote. They're like it's like fucking Ultron from the Avengers. He's a supercomputer, but it's like the Mind Stone. He's like it's a computer, but it's also something more than that. You know what I mean? It's like something special. I think our brains are special things in this universe, man, and I think it allows us to do a lot of amazing things. But I think when they're done, they're done.
Yeah,
that's just my guess. I don't. It's not even an opinion. It's just like a bad guess.
It's funny because you brought up atheists, and I chuckled a bit because here's the crazy thing about atheists. They say that they don't believe in God, but when something tragic and terrible happens in their life, they ask God why.
Some of them probably, yeah.
Some do. But at the same time, it's like
I mean, everybody knows who God is because everybody says, "Oh my God," and then it's like so they can't say they don't know who God is.
And, yeah, but I say, "Oh my God," doesn't mean I believe in. Like, that's just a saying.
I know, but the funny thing is, Adam, you're like the second agnostic person to know in my entire life, which is like ridiculous because I feel like some people too, and I've met people who kind of feel their vibes off the universe, and because they won't really say that like they believe in God, but they like feel the universe and whatnot and golf.
I'm just not that cocky. Like I'm humble enough to realize that it's fucking possible. Like who the fuck am I to say it's not real?
Yeah, and I tell you what you're saying on that one. It makes sense because I mean, this. Believe it or not, like I used to go through my like the whole religion thing. Like, well, I mean, I have my own walk now with God and all this like that, and I believe there's a God. I mean, we call it God or whatever you want to call it, the universe. I mean, some people may call it differently. I believe there's a God, and it's fine. And here's the thing: like religion, I can't stand religion. It's so hypocritical, plain and simple. It's seriously like when I read the whole Bible, like. This don't make sense. Like, well, how can you say do this and then do this? Like, nah, well, you have to do this. Like, don't quote. When people come at me, like, oh, well, the Bible says, yeah, the Bible says this too. You want to do that? Come on. Let's do this right now. Give me a rock and throw at your fucking forehead right now because the Bible says that. but seriously, like it's like for me, I do believe there's God. What happens? What do I think happens after I die? When we die? I would like to think that I will come back as a fucking puppy so I can be adopted and just like go find my family again. But yeah, honestly, I think it's the fairy tales that we go up to the heaven and pearly gates and all that stuff. But I feel that depending on if you are complete or not, content with how you are, like you get that last moment. Like you see your life, like, are you happy with your life? Yep. Were you satisfied? Like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, this is what's here. You about to be at peace. Are you ready to be at peace? And if you're not ready to be at peace, that's when you're a fucking spirit or something like that, and a ghost. Or you can, and then until you can find something else to do. Because I believe we all have souls. You know, I believe we have souls just for the fact that, if they can clone shit, other animals that actually is fucking like creatures, there has to be something apart that is apart from a clone rather than somebody that's created in a human through human natural biology. So that's why I'm like, you know, something happens. Something has to happen. And like you said, to be fucking too cocky and say, "Oh, there's no God," like you're fucking stupid. Like I rather have that kind of assurance saying, "Yes, I believe there's a God." And like, yeah,
if there's a God, he knows if you're saying that just because you don't want to be wrong or that you actually believe it.
Well, here's the thing: the whole religion thing is they use that shit to scare you. But I do believe there's a God, because at one point in my life, I was about to commit suicide. I literally was about to commit suicide, and someone dude out of nowhere I did not fucking know tapped me on my shoulder and said, came out of nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? And he said, I don't know you, but I saw you over there, and God told me to come tell you that everything's gonna be all right. And I fucking froze. I'm like,
You're making that up.
I swear on everything I love.
Bruh.
I swear
Wow.
on everything I love.
Where were you? Where were you at?
So I was inside of a building. It was like a 3-story a tier, and fucking I was just like at my lowest low. Like I got yeah, I can go into it, but that's for a different podcast. The whole story behind that one. But yeah, I was just like fucked up. You know, I was like my life. I felt my life was just fucking wasn't what I wanted to be. I was like, this is it. Like, fuck this shit. Let's just do this shit. I said, all right. And I felt my toes about to start lifting, like pushing myself over the rail.
You were on. Oh, so you were about to jump off those buildings.
I was, yeah, about to go head first into
Wow.
the fucking ground. And then his fucking came in just like, hey, and literally just put his hand on my shoulders. He put his hand on my shoulder, said, hey, I don't know you, brother, but God came over here. I saw you. God came over here and told me to tell you that everything's gonna be all right.
Was it a white guy?
No, it's a black guy.
I'm just joking. I was gonna make some white savior joke. That's fine.
No.
I knew he was. But and I had the you know how you get chills.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
The fucking weirdest chill. I'm like, what? And he said, God told me to tell you. I mean, I don't know you, but everything's gonna be all right.
Why was he on the roof?
Wasn't the roof. I said it was like banister. It wasn't on the top of the fucking roof. It was like a 3-story banister. Like you go inside a building, it has like 3 layers. So and the floor is concrete, like or linoleum, where you fucking call it. And I was
Is
like,
3 stories enough to do that?
Yep. If you're going head first,
go ahead first, and yeah,
that's enough impact.
Ugh.
Yep.
If I jump off, I'll chicken out and go feet first, and just break my legs.
I mean, for me, hearing DePaul say that story, it's like, bro,
like, and that's how I know no one.
God was kind of in a sense like, kid,
like,
you ain't doing
it's not
this.
your time yet. Yeah, it's not your time yet, bro. It's like, nah, you got shit to do.
Trust me, I've gone through too many of those instances, and I'm like, oh, I hate this. This is ridiculous. Why?
And so
each and every time,
right? It's just fucking crazy how things work. So that's why I'm like, there has to be more to it, and I don't believe what religion has to say as much, because they use it as a tool to manipulate shit. But I believe that, to get their agenda across. But I believe that there is a God, and that something happens after death. Is there's a piece like, oh, are you done? No, okay. Well, this is your time, and either you need to be done, or we're going to send you back in another life. As we say, you got in another life, you're not complete. So get your shit in order.
Like for me, it's like, because I've always hated the thing of religion and all that. For me, I'm like, I believe in God, but I focus more on my spirituality and my faith is what I focus on.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the Bible, I know certain Bible verses that I can read, and people throw these Bible verses. I'm like, you too busy talking out of the Old Testament when we're in the New Testament. Quit bringing up Sodom and Gomorrah and blah 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 and this and that. That's Old Testament, Brett. Like, stop. Say something out of the New Testament.
When they say shit, all you gotta say is, "Well, you're going to hell too." Then he said, "What?" Like, no, I'm not. Like, yes, you are. You talking about fucking sin and all that shit?
Oh, that's
like you woke up sinning. Shut the fuck up.
That's what irritates me about other Christians who say they are Christians and they find specific Bible verses to try to bash other people. Like, especially within the LGBT.
Every religion does that.
The LGBTQ community, they always try to find some Bible verse to like. But I'm like, you don't even use that verse because you don't even know what that verse is talking about.
I'm not a Christian, but I'm gonna say this. I'm sick of people saying that Christians are bad for LGBT. You know how many Christians? 99% of Christians are at the point where they're like, I don't care anymore. Just don't try to inundate me with it. There's no worse religion on earth for Christians or for gay people than Islam or Muslim. There's not. They throw them off roofs. They stone them to death. You know what? Everyone's so scared to say that, though. It's all about how bad Christians are and how they hate gay people. It's not true. Just not. They may not agree with it, but they're not. Christians aren't stoning anybody to death or throwing anybody off fucking roofs for being gay.
Well, here's the thing: is because you hear more about Christianity because it's more predominant in the United States.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
doing that. That's why.
No, yeah, but people are scared to death to talk about the real atrocities that are happening to gay people in like the Middle East because of Islamophobe. It's like, give me a break. Christians are not bad for No, Christians don't give a fuck about gay people. They may not agree with them, but we're not out there killing gay people. It's not happening.
No, I get
majority
that.
of my majority of my friends are part of the LGBTQ community. I told us like, I don't care. You love who you love. Mm-hmm. If that's your cup of tea, okay, cool. Do you?
In 2021, most people in the United States are like, dude, okay, I don't care anymore. It's like, give me a break.
Bro, we dealing more with this thing of black and white and this Black Lives Matter that bro.
Hey,
I'm telling you, man.
Linda, Adam's tired of this black and white thing. He's sick and tired of the black and white thing.
Bro, I was trying to figure out where
Adam?
Look, when there was something that happened down here, I forgot where it happened to the Asian community. I'm like, oh, where are you people that say all lives matter when something tragic happened in the Asian community? Oh, so y'all only do that when it's black people? Okay, cool.
On the East Coast? It's happening over in the West Coast.
It was down here, I think in the South somewhere. I think it might have happened here in Georgia. But like there was a shooter that went into the Asian community and just shot up different places or something like that. I don't remember like correctly.
Yeah, you hate white people. We get it. All right. So
no, I don't hate white people.
Now let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So
you're stupid.
Oh.
I heard Pornhub.
Yeah, that was my wife talking because apparently I get information wrong and she gets it all right.
Okay.
Here, I'm obviously I'll mute you for a second until you're done with her.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Bastard. Don't you mute me, asshole.
Well, goddamn, we're having 3 conversations, Lyndon. But so what I think happens is that the lights go out. What I hope happens is, man, like this whole idea of like heaven with golden streets, like, like that just seems like that just seems so childish to me.
So materialistic. You get golden roads. Like,
yeah, why the hell would they need
gold?
Why would they need? First of all, gold is like a soft metal. That's a horrible idea for roads.
Yep.
It's what I hope happens is that there's like, I feel like as far as like spirituality goes, I'll say this. I feel like a lot of things are like people are connected somehow. I truly believe this. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last, like, I'll say like several months. I feel like our brains are supercomputers that we just don't even have the beginning to understand like what they're actually capable of. Mm-hmm. And you know, when people take like the DMT and they talk about seeing like the entities or like the elves or like the people that by the way, I would love to do a DMT at least once in my life. But I feel like it's something like that, man. I feel like if I would love for it to be like you're transported, like your energy goes to a place where they get the ideas for like what heaven would be, like where you don't need to eat, you don't need to sleep. It's just more of like you're just that energy just kind of lives, kind of like the fucking Tesseract, just an energy that just keeps going forever. I don't know, like I don't want when the lights go out. I don't want that to be it. Like when the lights go out, I hope life goes on forever somehow. You know what I mean? I love to live. The thought of dying and just not existing forever.
Bro, I'm gonna get cremated and become.
I hate that.
You know, like
you'll help build the next one, but you're not gonna be the tree.
Nah, I'm gonna be the tree, bro. My ashes are gonna build a tree. That's all I'm gonna do.
Are you doing that thing? The
Bro, I'm gonna do that pod thing. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna make my ashes. I'm gonna be like, nah, make me into a tree, bro.
I
Yeah,
thought about that, but see, I'm so fucking afraid of like the whole cremation thing. Like, what if you're not really fucking dead and throwing
bro.
you there? I'm like,
I'd rather just
fuck.
be burned. I'd just rather be burned into ashes than being buried underground for like so many years.
Have you heard about the cryo cremation?
Mhm.
Oh, that one sounds cool. Like instead of burning you, they fucking freeze you to the point like you're sub-zero, and then they shatter you. So the vibration you just fucking shattered, turned to dust. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucking pretty fucking dope.
I might do that.
How's that any better than being cremated?
No,
Sub-Zero
it's
shit.
It's a cremation, but it's just instead of being burned, because like
I get it. It just sounds creepy.
yeah,
Just frozen.
This is Mortal Kombat, motherfucker.
I'm like shit. Let me go ahead and be frozen. But no, yeah, for me, I mean, this is what I would like. Like if I'm not done with something, like before I was like, okay, well, yeah, I want to live to be able to keep on doing shit I need to do to you know, preserve my legacy. You know, that's what it is. Like, because I got a fear when I was 35 about like, fuck, what will I be known for? Like, yeah, I made a difference in some people's life, but once I die, it's like, who?
What will you be known for?
Who's that fucker? I never heard of this fucking dude. And
Is
so,
this- yeah.
it's just like, okay, so what's your legacy? And that's why I'm doing so like things now. Like, oh no, this is like my second life right now. It's like, oh no, fucking my second win, I should say. We gotta get shit done. I gotta create this shit and build this and leave stuff for my family, and then they can build onto it, and then my legacy keeps on going and going and going. It's like, all right, that's what my legacy is. And it could sound like what, egotistical or just like selfish, but it's not, because like you want to be known. You want, like, feel like you made a difference. Well, for me, I want to feel like I made a difference, and people like, yeah, like Thomas Edison. Everybody fucking knows about Thomas Edison light bulb. You know, like, oh yeah, like his
They're
name's gonna
starting
go.
inventing shit.
Yeah, man.
Let's start inventing a bunch of crap, guys. Yeah.
So,
just do that.
like, everyone's gonna know Mark Zuckerberg. Fucking everyone knows Tom from fucking MySpace, and fucking what happened to MySpace. So it's like, you know, shit.
Tom is a legend.
And so that's the thing. It's like, okay, cool, but just like, but for me, this is why I. Two things I wish had happened for death, because Adam, you was onto something with the whole like we don't realize how powerful our minds are. Like I think I think a lot of people have superpowers and they don't just know how to tap into their fucking full potential.
You've watched too many Marvel movies.
No. The human brain, we only use one half of our brain.
I think it's less than that.
Exactly.
I talked about this in the one of the other times. Like we don't use the full percentage of our brain.
Yeah.
We only use like a small percent of our.
When I was a kid, I heard it was like 10 or 12% or something.
Yeah, that's all we use of our
20%.
brain. Like we don't even use our full potential of our.
See that movie Powder? A kid uses like 100%. He's like basically God.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's like
that movie Limitless.
Yep. And so, like, if you can actually tap into that, I think, like, the whole, like, that's my thing. Like, people don't just conjure up fucking stories. Like, oh yeah, let's make a guy that fucking flies or somebody who can teleport out of fucking nowhere. And they had to come up with that concept. Something happened for them to come up with that fucking concept. They're like, what the fuck? How that happened? Like, oh, okay. Who just comes up like, I want to walk through fucking walls by thinking about it? No one. You have to fucking actually have experienced some shit like that.
Ryan, I'm getting disconnected from your ideas real quick. You're talking about walking through walls and flying and shit. Listen,
it's not that extreme, but you know I'm getting to. Fuck God, man. But no, seriously, to the like energy. Everything's pretty much energy. You can control energy. Seriously, if you know how to do it right.
Yeah, I think there's here lately. There's a few times I haven't thought about it in depth, but I've thought about like telepaths, because I've watched a few documentaries and about aliens, and one thing they say that they're able to do is they're able to talk to them like telepathically, and I think there's something to, if there's an advanced civilization who is like a million years advanced, and they have really small, like aliens, so they have really small mouths, they have really big brains, and I think somehow along the way, we're going to be able to tap into way more of our brain power, and that'll allow us to do things like talk to each other without even using any like audible words and things like that. So using things like telepathy, I think that's I don't know how that would work. I'm not a biologist or a scientist, but I think that's something that's at least plausible.
So we actually do that already.
Some
people do.
Because I do that with my wife sometimes.
It's called soulmates. Yeah, that's true. You have to find your soulmate, your soul family. Yeah. You can do that with them. I do shit all the time. It's fucking eerie.
But I think there's an explanation for that one, because me and Katrina do it all the time too. Isn't it possible that just because we've known each other for over 20 years, I think that you know each other so well, our habits and what we would say and things that we know what we're both into, to the point that we can almost just guess at the same time when they're going to say something. Like that isn't the same as like reading their minds or talking to them, which I think in another 100,000 years might actually happen.
Me and my wife have this thing where we can like look at each other and just kind of like feed off of one another and just know like what we're thinking, and like it's like probably the most ridiculous thing that we've done. And I guess that takes like being together 10 years and more to really hone into that a lot and just be like, hey, like, okay, I feel you. Yeah.
But to me, that's just because you know each other so well. To me, that's not a mental telepathy thing. If I was put my negative spin on it,
fluent, but sometimes it can be. Like, for instance, some people can, like me. I can, like, if I'm real close to somebody, like my mom. At one point, my mom was depressed at one point, and I actually I felt it. I was like, let me call my mom up, and I hadn't talked to her like in a week. Mm-hmm. I say, it's just all of a sudden, like, let me call my mom up. I say, hey, how you doing? I was talking to her, saying, I'm all right. It's like, it's not really feeling like myself lately. I was like, what's going on? Found out she's fucking depressed. I'm like, I say, you know what's weird? I literally felt a weird vibe when I thought of you, and I had to call you to check on you, and I had talked to her all week. I said, really? I was like, yeah. I'm like, fucking superpower, but whatever. It's like it's you just like, and I mean, I'm close to my mom, but I'm like, I don't talk to her all the time. Like, I talk to my wife. I can understand that, and I still get that vibe with my wife. Like, hey, no, I know you too well, and just like certain things she says. But even then, like, I can feel that energy.
I just thought it was. Oh, go ahead.
Like, because I was thinking of one thing. I guess this is only common with twins, but apparently, I think twins can feel when there's something wrong with the other one.
Now that makes more sense because of
even if they're like far apart, like even if they're like on different sides of the world, if they feel something is wrong, it's like it's like, how would you? It's like, what? They could be.
Well, to me, that makes more sense because they're kind of sharing that brain power since birth. I mean, they were kind of split off from the same thing.
And it's like they can literally feel off of one another, like, okay, something's wrong. I feel it. Like, I don't know what's wrong, but I feel something's wrong. And I'm like, that's amazing for twins. Yeah. Twins can do that.
I just think that anybody can have, I wouldn't say anybody can have that connection, but a lot of people can have that connection if you tap into it with certain people. Some people can use, like, and I'm not saying this to make it sexual, but some people can use, like, it's power exchange, that sexual energy. When you have sex with somebody, you basically absorb their energy, and it's like, okay, you have that connection.
That energy can be overbearing sometimes.
Oh yeah. But it's just so many things. So, like,
you talking about when you're getting pegged?
That's just you, Adam.
Not getting pegged.
No, that's you all day.
We know that's how you got your hemorrhoids. We know that's how you got your hemorrhoids.
Look, you guys are going to get me on this one. I've said I've never been pegged, but I haven't tried it because I have hemorrhoids. Okay, so I'm not even shying away from the fact that I may try it. So you're not going to get me on this one, cocksuckers. Okay.
Hey, Kat, you heard that loud and clear.
Don't worry.
It's one reason I'm keeping them.
Hey, I'm sending you something.
It will happen. Don't worry.
More pads.
My grandma. I just thought of this story. My grandma. This is way before I was born. When my dad was a kid. Her oldest daughter had a tattoo of some kind of bird. I don't know what kind of bird it was. And my grandma was asleep. She's an old American Indian lady, like 75% or something. She was asleep and she had a nightmare or a dream that a bird flew into their door, and she opened the door and the bird was sitting on the door, dead. It hit the door and died.
Oh wow.
She wakes up. I don't know if she called somebody or someone called her. That day she got the news that her daughter had been murdered by her husband. True story.
No shit.
Yep. It was her first. I'm pretty sure it was her firstborn. She was murdered by her husband.
So you want to hear something creepy around that same kind of story? So my wife, she tells me all these fucking kind of stories all the time, and she was like, her oldest son was in a gang, and well, he's on the streets. We'll say that. And so one night she was sleeping, like in her dead sleep, and she said her grandfather came to her in a dream and said, "Hey," and her grandfather is gone, is passed, deceased, and she said that it was a vivid ass dream, and her grandfather said, "You're about to have somebody knock on the door, at the front door. Everything, Christopher is going to be okay. Just know that he's going to survive. He's going to be okay." I'm like, and so she said, sure enough, she woke up to the fucking doorbell ringing and a knock on the door, and it was the sheriff department saying, "Hey, are you so and so's and this your son?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay, well, you need to come with us to the hospital. He's been in an accident." Come to find out, he was in a stabbing.
Jeez.
Yeah. And somebody tried to kill him and stabbed him, and he survived. He's fine. And I'm like, what? She said, yeah, my grandfather came before that and told me that was about to happen, and said Chris Chris was gonna be all right. Sure enough, he's all alive and fine, kicking. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Fucking right. I'm like, what the fuck?
Not as crazy as my bird story, but yeah, that's pretty good. No, I'm just kidding.
we like your bird story, Adam.
I know. You guys just brushed over so quickly. I'm like, okay, fuck you. I'll never tell no story.
The bird story is interesting, but I think so for me. So last month, of course, I lost my grandfather, and it was difficult. But what's crazy is, and this is where I think people should try to like really pay attention to their dreams that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do believe like dreams speak to you, because you can dream something and be like, oh, that's not going to happen, and then like you go so many years and then it actually happens, you're like, oh, what the crap. And what's crazy is like we had knew like the time was coming when he was going to pass away, we just didn't know. And so 2 nights prior, before my grandfather passed, I had a dream about it. And I was like, okay, that's interesting, weird. Then literally the night before, I had a dream and I was like talking to my granddad, but it wasn't my granddad. It was like his younger self. And I was like just talking with him, talking to him and everything of that nature. And when I woke up, I'm like, he's about to pass away.
Mm.
And sure enough, I got like a phone call from my mom at around 3:00 in the afternoon telling me about my grandfather.
Was he pretty sick already?
Yeah, because he had Alzheimer's and everything. His body was just failing on him. And so I had called my aunt to see him, and I was like, damn. Like I literally dreamed about this and lost it, because it was just like, okay. Yeah, dreams kind of tell you stuff. And it's like so mind-boggling of how your dreams can be like, okay, hey, you're gonna just. That's why nowadays I think I try so much to focus on my dreams when I'm sleeping, so I can freaking remember what's happening.
I had a dream about Ninja Turtles once.
Who kicked your ass, Leonardo or Donatello?
No, it's actually a true story. I was staying out of I was like a kid. I was like 11 or 12 or something. I was staying out of my cousin Donnie's house, and his dad, they're very spiritual people. And his dad was telling me about lucid dreams. I never even knew that. I never even heard of this before. He's telling me about, he was saying that if you can control your dreams if they're lucid. And I was like, at the time, it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard in my fucking life. And I was like, I want to do this so bad. And at the time, I'd never even seen boobs before. I was like, I want to go to sleep. And if this ever happens to me, I want to see a pair of boobs. I want to grab a pair of boobs and all this good stuff. So for all day, I couldn't think about nothing else except going to sleep and having a lucid dream and grab boobs. I swear on my children's lives, that night, I had a lucid dream. And I think it's because I obsessed about it all day long. And I forgot all about the boobs. And in my dream, all I remember thinking is, oh my God, this is like, I know I'm dreaming right now. And I, for some reason, asked for a field full of Ninja Turtles. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. So like those little Ninja Turtle figurines are about 6 inches, 8 inches tall. As far as the eye could see, it was like the Windows XP screen with the green field. It was that, except Ninja Turtles. Like the Ninja Turtles was the grass. Dang. And I woke up and I was so fucking pissed that I did it, and I asked for Ninja Turtles. That's it. As a complete letdown.
No, that's fucking funny as fuck.
Lucid dreaming is crazy, bro. Like, I think there was one point I went to sleep, and like I knew I was dreaming, and I was talking. It's like I was talking to myself, and my dream was like, "Dude, you're dreaming right now." And so I went to look at my watch, and it said like 1 something in the afternoon. And then like an alarm woke me up. I wake up, and then my watch said like 3:30 at night. And I'm like, only 2 hours. What the heck? There's only a 2-hour difference in dream world. I'm like, what?
Lucid dreaming is fucking. I think I did it twice. Once on accident, and it was a nightmare. Fucking not cool. Not cool. Well, actually, no, it wasn't lucid dreaming because it was just a fucking nightmare inside of a nightmare. Those are horrible.
That kind of sounds like Inception, when you have a dream within a dream.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
And I've actually had one of those, which was crazy. Like I would never
forget. I had a fucking heart attack.
Like I was having a dream within a dream. It's like, wait, what? I woke up in my own dream. What the heck?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Scary shit everywhere.
But, guys, go ahead, or Paul.
I was gonna say that I was gonna say but just the whole lucid thing. Like mine was usually always like flying or more of a like flying or fighting and like trying to control the speed of my fucking punches. It was like every time if I didn't have control over it, I was fucking throwing a punch like hella slow and the strongest fucking punch. Like, just let me fucking connect this shit. I know it's a fucking dream, but just let me fucking connect it. And once I connect, that motherfucker went flying.
They probably went night night like good old Jake Paul did Tyron Woodley.
It was worse than that. They went to the fucking through the monkey bars.
Dude, if I ever get hit like that, I'm going to.
That was bad. I was like,
yeah,
God,
that's brutal.
Damn.
Guys, we're gonna meet my mother-in-law here at 5:00, so I got to go. It's 4:15 here, so I appreciate you guys for being here. It was always fun. We'll do it again on Wednesday. You guys have a wonderful day.
All right, take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Peace, brother.